Bonjour, ça va? Très bien? G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so good to see you. I do hope you are super well. Today we're here to talk about DXO PureRAW6. It's out now. Now, for those that don't know what PureRAW is, it is, from my perspective, the best demosaicer that you can get your hands on. So even if you like working in Lightroom or Photoshop, Capture One, or even Pixelmator Pro and more, you can use files from DXO PureRAW6 in any of those applications and more. All you need to do is export your files as a DNG file. That's a digital negative format created by Adobe quite a long time ago. This is a universal RAW format that allows you to take your files across many different RAW editors. Now let's get into why I love DXO PureRAW. I'm now nearing the end of the third decade of me shooting digital images. Some of the first images I ever shot were in 1999 with this camera right here. This is a whopping 1.7 megapixel camera from Kodak, when Kodak were still doing things. And then from there, in the early 2000s, I think it was 2001, it was this 3.1 megapixel Kodak camera. Over almost 30 years of working on digital files, I've had one goal and one goal alone, and that is to get the absolute most out of those files. Now, in the beginning, we didn't have RAW files. We were given JPEGs or TIFFs. It didn't take long after these Kodak cameras here before we had RAW files that were way more adjustable. Fast forward to today, and the art and science of getting the best result from your RAW files continues. And it doesn't matter whether it's Nikon, Sony, Lumix, Canon, Fuji, and more. DXO PureRAW can work with all of them. And from my perspective, having used a hell of a lot of the RAW processors out there, this is the best. It gives you the cleanest and the sharpest files. How does this work? It comes down to the demosaicing process along with image noise reduction. And this is done in DXO PureRAW6 simultaneously. Rather than doing one process first and then the other second, they're both done at the same time. This way it yields the best possible result from the information the photo sites records to the RAW file. DXO PureRAW does not just demosaic. It also helps with chromatic aberration corrections. I believe it is the industry leader when it comes to noise reduction using its deep prime AI algorithms. It also has exclusive sharpness optimization for lenses, which includes sharpness as well as distortion adjustments. In other words, DXO are trying to give you the best files possible by looking at the sensor, by looking at aberration, by looking at sharpness, distortion, as well as vignetting, and putting this all together with industry-leading noise reduction, which is done via AI. Deep Prime 3 is what makes this all possible. This is DXO's third generation of machine learning noise reduction, which they call groundbreaking. And from my perspective, I have to agree. The results that we can get, even when we're shooting at base ISOs, DXO makes files look even cleaner. And of course, as you go up to very high ISOs, this is something that we all want and expect in this day and age. The ability to be able to still make it look good. And Deep Prime XD2S, which there's also a version called XD3 X-Trans, which is specifically made for the Fujifilm X-Trans sensors, it is built using an even larger neural network. Now, just to give you an idea, the cameras that Deep Prime and Deep Prime XD2S are compatible with includes Canon, DJI, Hasselblad, Nikon, Panasonic, Pentax, Olympus, Sony, Leica, and more. I think they've pretty much got all of the big ones covered. What's exciting to me about DXO PureRAW, this latest version, getting better, as I've said, than the one before, they just keep tweaking and improving these algorithms, is you can just buy this alone. And if you've got some files that just need that extra little bit of noise reduction, that extra little bit of sharpening, or perhaps removing really difficult chromatic aberration, I believe DXO PureRAW is the best at all of these things. So you can still continue to work with whatever your editor of choice is, if you want to. DXO also have great options for that. But if you want to just stick with pure RAW, get the best possible RAW conversion, I do believe this software is where it's at. And as we saw in the few files that we've gone through, these results are stunning. Now for me, this is just a first look at version 6. I would like to do a deeper dive over the following weeks on what this software is capable of as we push into higher and higher ISOs. But what I find by taking my RAW files into Pure RAW, processing them, and then opening them in my RAW editor of choice is that the results are absolutely fantastic. And working from DNG files is just the same as working from my normal RAW files, whether it is from the Fuji, the Canon, the Lumix, the Sony, or the Nikon. DNG is absolutely fine, and it works very well. It's something that I haven't used before. I've just always worked with the native files from each manufacturer. But DNG was created by Adobe to be a standard for everybody. And it is a format that would not be accepted if it didn't work just as well as the original RAW files. Of course, you can also export TIFF files and JPEG files if that's what you want to do, but obviously you can't take them as far as you take your RAW files. Now, if this is something that interests you, the other thing I love about DXO RAW is the fact that you get all of these modules that go with your lenses, and DXO do an amazing job of trying to keep up with the latest lenses, then bringing you corrections that make your files just look perfect or very, very close to perfect. Because not only are they working on the sensor, but they're working on the light that comes onto the sensor and how it might be vignetted, aberrated, or distorted, and sharpening on top of that. So DXO are working at both ends of the spectrum to give you absolutely amazing results. And I hear you saying at this point in time, how much does it cost? It's $129 for a full license, and that's it. It's one cost. There is no subscription, and you don't have to buy another copy. If you stick with the same camera and lenses for the next 5 years, you need not upgrade your copy. No subscription. And if you do want to upgrade in a couple of years' time, there is an upgrade path, and by the look of it, it's $89.99 to upgrade from version 4 or 5 to version 6. That makes it extremely affordable. And again, I repeat, there is no subscription, so you can just stick with the same camera, the same lenses, and the same software, and you do not pay again. Another bonus on top of all of that, DXO have given me a discount code of 15% for viewers of this channel. So if you choose to buy a copy and click on the link and use the discount code MATTIRWIN, all in capitals, you will get 15% off, which makes this not very far off $100 US to buy your own copy outright. And I really do believe it gives you the best results. You would have seen me toying with this a couple of years ago, and I've been playing with it again because I'm really interested in getting the absolute most out of my RAW files. The business I'm in is I create images that people end up loving. They go on their walls, they go in books, and I might create one hit single, to use music parlance, once a week. Once a month. I'm not doing bulk processing. I'm processing just the absolute hit singles. And this software is perfect for creating that demosaicing and noise reduction at the same time and giving you the very, very best result. And as I said, if you want to go on and to use their editor, well, you can just simply purchase Photolab 9 and it has PureRAW built in. So you get that plus a full-on editor. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this for people who want to keep their costs down and don't want to have ongoing monthly or weekly subscriptions. It's certainly something worth thinking about. All right, everybody, please do let me know in the comments below. Do you use any of the DXO software? What do you think of the results from PureRAW? Of course, you can download a trial and give it a go without spending a cent. That's also interesting within itself because that means you can prove it for yourself with your own files. And let us all know the results in the comments below. All right, it's been so good to see you, and if this is your first time here, I would love to see you again. So, au revoir, bye for now.